When we talk about health, most people think about the big things, whether it's lowering blood pressure, preventing cancer, or slowing the process of aging. But at the very core of every one of these challenges lies something more fundamental: the cell. Your body is made up of trillions of cells, each one alive, each one carrying out tasks that together allow you to breathe, think, move, and heal. And here's the extraordinary truth: your body is not a static machine. It's more like a living orchestra, constantly playing, constantly repairing itself. Every single day, millions of your cells are damaged. But in that same moment, millions more are being repaired, renewed, or replaced. You are, in effect, a living organism under construction all the time. This natural capacity for repair is nothing short of miraculous. Think about it: when you cut your finger, you don't need to command your body to heal. It just happens. Skin cells multiply, blood vessels knit themselves back together, white blood cells clean up debris. The wound closes. That process is not limited to the surface. Inside your body, the same kind of repair is happening in your heart, your brain, your gut, even at the level of your DNA. Damage occurs, and the body responds with intelligence far beyond anything science could engineer. But here's the paradox. While your body is equipped with astonishing repair systems, it is also constantly under attack. Oxidative stress, pollution, processed foods, chronic stress, and lifestyle choices can overwhelm those repair mechanisms. If the balance tips too far toward damage, the body begins to lose ground. This is when disease takes root. Yet, and this is the hopeful part, most of us have far more control than we realize. The body doesn't just passively endure damage, it actively seeks to correct it. Our role is to supply the right conditions for it to succeed, and this is where food enters the conversation. Food isn't just calories, or fuel, or something to satisfy hunger. Food is information. Every bite you take communicates directly with your cells, either reinforcing their ability to repair or interfering with it. Think of your body as a garden. A garden can thrive or wither depending on what you plant, how you nourish it, and what you protect it from. If you provide the right nutrients, the equivalent of sunlight, water, and healthy soil, your cells flourish. If you neglect them, the weeds of disease start to take over. When you begin to see yourself not as a collection of symptoms or risk factors, but as a living network of cells in a constant state of renewal, you start to understand that healing is not something foreign or extraordinary. Healing is your default setting. It's who you are. The question is not whether your body can repair. It can. The question is whether you're giving it the tools it needs to do what it already knows how to do. So the next time you sit down for a meal, I want you to remember this: you're not just feeding yourself. You are either feeding damage or you are feeding repair. The choice is yours, and the consequences are profound. Your body already wants to heal. You simply have to allow it. If the body is built with such a remarkable ability to repair, then why do so many of us struggle with illness, fatigue, or the slow erosion of our vitality? The truth is, while our biology is designed to heal, it is also vulnerable. Cells are not indestructible. They live in constant interaction with their environment, both the world outside and the world within. And when that environment is hostile, the damage can outpace the repair. Cellular damage begins quietly, long before symptoms ever appear. One of the main drivers is oxidative stress, which is essentially the biological equivalent of rust. Just as metal left in the rain corrodes, our cells can be worn down by free radicals, unstable molecules produced not only by pollution, smoking, or chemicals, but also by our own metabolism when we process food or experience stress. If free radicals accumulate without balance, they batter our DNA, proteins, and membranes, leaving the cell less capable of functioning or reproducing in a healthy way. Then there is inflammation. Short-term inflammation is protective. It's what allows your body to fight off infections or heal after an injury. But when inflammation lingers, when it becomes chronic, it starts to harm the very tissues it was meant to defend. Imagine a fire that was lit to keep you warm but never put out. Over time, it consumes the house itself. Chronic inflammation is that unchecked fire, smoldering inside the body and damaging the cellular foundations of your organs. And let's not forget toxins from the modern lifestyle. Air pollutants, pesticides, processed foods laced with artificial additives, and even the microplastics we are now discovering in our water. All of these can introduce stress to our cells. Add to that the silent toll of poor sleep, relentless stress, and sedentary living, and you have the perfect recipe for cellular breakdown. These aren't abstract threats, they're the root causes behind the rise of cancer, diabetes, neurodegenerative diseases, and accelerated aging. But here is something worth reflecting on. Damage, by itself, is not destiny. It's simply a signal, a warning flare from your biology. When you feel constantly fatigued, when your skin begins to lose its vitality, when brain fog becomes your daily companion, your body is speaking to you in its own language. It's saying, "Help me restore balance." The danger lies in ignoring these signals, dismissing them as inevitable parts of getting older, or just the way life is. The psychological shift we need is to see cellular damage not as an enemy to fear, but as a call to action. Every choice we make, from the food we put on our plate, to the hours we devote to rest, to the way we handle stress, either feeds into that damage or pulls us back toward repair. It's not about perfection, and it's certainly not about fear. It's about awareness, about reclaiming a sense of agency over the very fabric of your biology. Because at the end of the day, the damage you face is real, but it is not permanent. Your cells can recover, your tissues can renew, your health can be restored. The fire can be put out, the rust can be cleaned away, and the balance can be tipped back in your favor. The question is, will you continue to fuel the damage, or will you choose to nourish the repair? If damage is the problem, then we have to ask, what is the most powerful way to restore balance? And this is where food becomes far more than something we simply consume to survive. Food is not just calories. It is not just fuel. Food is medicine, but even more than that, it is information. Every bite of food sends signals to your cells, like instructions being handed to a worker on a construction site. Some foods tell your cells to strengthen, to repair, to renew. Others whisper the opposite, disrupting communication, fueling inflammation, and accelerating damage. What you eat is not neutral. It is either a friend of repair or a silent saboteur. Think about antioxidants, those compounds we hear about so often but rarely stop to understand. Their role is to neutralize oxidative stress, the rust of biology we discussed earlier. Foods rich in antioxidants, like blueberries, pomegranates, green tea, and dark leafy greens, act like firefighters moving through your system, putting out the sparks before they grow into flames. Then there are polyphenols, the natural chemicals in plants that not only defend the plants themselves, but, when we consume them, activate our own cellular defenses. A glass of green tea or a handful of walnuts isn't just a snack. It's a biochemical nudge that tells your cells, stay strong, resist damage, repair what is broken. A food also provides the raw materials for healing. Proteins broken down into amino acids become the bricks and mortar for rebuilding muscle and tissue. Omega-3 fatty acids from salmon or flaxseed become part of the cell membrane, making it more resilient and flexible. Minerals like magnesium or zinc, vitamins like C and E. These are not optional extras. They're the very tools your repair systems need to do their job. Without them, your body is like a craftsman asked to build a house without nails or wood. And here's what I find so fascinating. The body doesn't just respond passively to food. It listens. It adapts. It transforms in real time. When you shift your diet from processed, inflammatory foods toward whole, nutrient-rich foods, the signals to your cells change almost immediately. Within hours, inflammatory markers can drop. Within days, insulin sensitivity can improve. Within weeks, damaged tissues begin to regenerate. The body is not waiting years to respond. It begins the moment you choose differently. This is why the idea of cheating with food is so misleading. Every meal is an opportunity. Every plate is a decision point. You are either reinforcing repair or you are reinforcing damage. And while one meal won't make or break you, the patterns you repeat every day become the architecture of your biology. When you start to see food not as a source of guilt or restriction, but as a daily act of empowerment, something shifts deep inside. Suddenly, eating is no longer about counting calories or following trends. It becomes about agency, about reclaiming your ability to shape your own health at the most fundamental level. So the next time you reach for food, don't ask, "Will this fill me up?" Ask instead, "What message am I sending to my cells?" Because your body is listening, and every message matters. If food is information, then the natural next question becomes, what are the most powerful foods we can choose to send the right messages to our cells? Science has been uncovering the answer to this. And what's remarkable is how nature has already laid out a pharmacy for us, hidden in plain sight, inside the very foods we often overlook. These are not exotic, unreachable ingredients. They are everyday foods that carry within them the ability to switch on repair, neutralize damage, and restore balance deep within our biology. Take berries, for example. Blueberries, strawberries, blackberries, all rich in anthocyanins, the pigments that give them their vibrant colors. When you eat them, you're not just enjoying something sweet. You're flooding your cells with compounds that protect DNA, improve blood vessel health, and lower inflammation. These tiny fruits carry signals that help your body resist the wear and tear of daily life. Now think about cruciferous vegetables: broccoli, kale, Brussels sprouts. Inside them are sulforaphanes, which trigger your body's detox systems, helping cells clean up damage before it spreads. In other words, your salad isn't just lunch. It's an intervention at the molecular level. Turmeric, with its golden compound curcumin, has been studied for its ability to quiet inflammation and even influence gene expression. Green tea, with its catechins, helps your cells defend against oxidative stress while improving metabolism and brain health. Omega-3 fatty acids found in fatty fish like salmon or in chia and flax seeds are incorporated into cell membranes, literally making your cells more resilient and better able to communicate. Even something as ordinary as tomatoes, with their lycopene, can protect against cellular damage in your skin and organs. The brilliance of these foods is that they don't work in isolation. They are part of a network of defense and repair, each one contributing to the orchestra of renewal your body is already conducting. The more diversity you bring onto your plate, the more signals of repair your body receives. And unlike pharmaceuticals, which often target a single pathway, these foods work on multiple levels at once. They don't just suppress damage, they build resilience. Now, here's something worth noticing. These foods are not new discoveries. They've been part of traditional diets for centuries, even millennia. Cultures that have relied heavily on plant-rich, whole food diets, like the Mediterranean Japanese or South Asian traditions, have long experienced lower rates of chronic disease and greater longevity. Science is simply catching up to explain why. The wisdom was always there, we're just finally learning to listen. And this should shift the way we think about our meals. A plate of food is no longer a random assortment of flavors. It is a carefully coded message to your biology. You hold the power to choose which signals you send. Are you telling your cells to thrive, to heal, to renew? Or are you asking them to struggle under the weight of processed, artificial inputs they were never designed to handle? Every bite is a vote for the future of your health. Every meal is a chance to steer your body back toward repair. You don't need a miracle cure. You need to embrace the quiet miracles that nature already placed on your table. Food may be the foundation, but we cannot talk about repairing cells and restoring health without acknowledging the other forces that shape the body's ability to heal. Nutrition is essential, but it works best when it is part of a greater symphony that includes sleep, movement, hydration, and even the way we process stress. These are not side notes, they are amplifiers. When they align with diet, the repair systems of the body are not just supported, they are supercharged. Think about sleep for a moment. While you rest, your body is far from idle. Sleep is when the brain clears out cellular debris, when tissues regenerate, when hormones recalibrate, and when your immune system resets itself. If food provides the building blocks for repair, sleep is the architect that puts them in place. Without enough quality sleep, even the most nutrient-dense diet cannot fully deliver its potential. Your cells need the quiet rhythm of night to restore balance. Movement plays a similar role. Exercise is not simply about burning calories or sculpting muscles, it is a signal to your body that repair is required. When you walk, stretch, or lift, you create microscopic stress in your muscles and tissues. Your body responds not by breaking down, but by rebuilding stronger. Regular movement also improves blood flow, delivering oxygen and nutrients directly to your cells, while helping flush away waste products. It's the body's way of stirring the waters so that healing energy never grows stagnant. Hydration is another overlooked factor. Every chemical reaction in your body, including those that repair DNA or build new proteins, occurs in water. A dehydrated cell is a stressed cell, less able to communicate, less able to repair. Something as simple as drinking enough clean water each day ensures that your body's natural healing currents flow without obstruction. And then there is stress. Not all stress is harmful. Acute stress, like a challenging workout or a difficult project, can sharpen the body's systems and even build resilience. But chronic stress, the kind that lingers in the background of daily life, floods the body with cortisol, weakens immunity, and keeps repair systems on hold. It is like running an engine at full throttle without ever stopping to cool it down. Over time, the machinery wears out. This is why practices like deep breathing, meditation, gratitude, or simply taking time in nature can have such profound effects. They aren't luxuries, they are signals to your body that it is safe enough to heal. When you see diet, sleep, movement, hydration, and stress management as interconnected, the picture becomes clear. Health is not built on one pillar alone, but on the integration of all these forces. Food may light the spark, but lifestyle fans the flame. Together, they create an environment where your body's repair systems are not merely surviving, but thriving. And this is the truth we often forget. Healing is not an event, it is a way of living. Every choice is either stacking the odds for repair or against it. When you align not just what you eat, but how you live, you're no longer fighting biology, you're flowing with it. So the invitation is simple: live in a way that allows your body to do what it was designed to do. Give it the nourishment, the rest, the movement, the hydration, and the peace it needs, and it will repay you with health beyond what you imagined. At the heart of everything we've been exploring is a profound truth: the body is not fixed, it is fluid. You are not the same person today that you were yesterday, at least not at the cellular level. Old cells die, new cells take their place, and every one of them carries the imprint of the environment you create for it. This means that repair is not just about correcting damage in the moment. It is about shaping the future of who you will become. Longevity, vitality, resilience, even the way you age, are all expressions of how well your repair systems are being nourished and supported. When you begin to eat foods that heal, when you make choices that align with renewal rather than destruction, you're not just improving how you feel today. You're laying down the foundation for your future self. A meal rich in antioxidants doesn't only neutralize free radicals now, it also strengthens the resilience of tomorrow's cells. Choosing sleep tonight doesn't just restore your energy in the morning, it recalibrates the long-term health of your brain, lowering your risk for cognitive decline decades later. Every small choice echoes forward, quietly sculpting the person you are becoming. What's remarkable is that the body rewards even small efforts. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight to benefit. Replace a processed snack with a handful of nuts, and your cells receive signals of repair. Swap soda for green tea, and you've reduced oxidative stress in that moment. Go for a walk after dinner, and you've improved your body's ability to regulate blood sugar that very evening. These small, consistent actions accumulate into something extraordinary. The body is always listening, always responding, always giving you a chance to change course. And this is where philosophy enters biology. We often think of health as something imposed upon us, determined by genetics, fate, or the passage of time. But the science of cellular repair tells us something different, that we are active participants in our destiny. Yes, there are things we cannot control, but there is also an enormous field of possibility within our grasp. The way we eat, the way we live, the way we care for ourselves, these are not just lifestyle choices. They are acts of creation. They are the daily rituals through which we write the story of our future health. So, the invitation here is not to live in fear of disease, but to live in alignment with health. To see every meal, every night of sleep, every walk, every breath, as part of a long conversation between you and your cells. A conversation in which you have more influence than you might ever have believed. And if you take nothing else from this, let it be this: your body wants to heal. It is programmed for renewal. The power to repair, restore, and even transform is already within you. All you must do is choose to work with it, not against it. Your next meal, your next choice, your next moment, it is not trivial. It is the beginning of your repair. It is the beginning of your future.